Hi there. Happy Tuesday. So, this week's conversation is all about judgment. Let's just take some time to look into your judgment. And so, my curiosity for you this week is start to notice just how often things are labeled in one of two buckets for you, either good or bad. Just start to notice how quickly those judgments just mindlessly just rush in, and then also how strongly we listen to that snap judgment. The judgment happens so quickly we're not even thinking about it or realizing it's happening, and then we act on that because we have so much history of doing that. We're just used to acting on the way things feel. I invite you to explore what happens if we take away all of good and bad. What happens if there's no such thing as judgment and only reality, like only what is in front of you? How might that change the way that you perceive the world, the way that you perceive yourself, actions that you take that now feel like they're not choices, but how much does it open up opportunities and choices for you? So I'm just curious how, if we were to adopt this idea for a week of what happens if there's no good or bad, everything just is, how you might think of things differently. So here's an example. Traffic is always an easy example because, we pretty much all, it's kind of universal. Most of us easily get triggered by some type of traffic thing or have a history of easily getting triggered or whatever that is, right? So let's take that, like somebody cuts you off, like they're driving recklessly and they cut you off. Excuse me. So just notice what happens there. You might just immediately get angry or scared or whatever that is, right? But notice, is it the human being themselves that is making you angry? Is it their car that's making you angry? Is it even the fact that they moved from their lane into yours abruptly that made you angry? Or is it the judgment that that was a bad thing to do that makes you angry? Think about that. So if this were, a friend of yours that you were traveling with together, they got lost, they needed to be in front of you so you could see where to go, and they did exactly the same maneuver. They were trying to catch up to you in traffic. They were trying to get in front of you to show you where to go. They are a friend of yours. You know with surety what their intention is and that it was an act of kindness to you. That same exact maneuver is all of a sudden not causing anger. Was it because of the car? Was it because of the maneuver? Or was it because of your judgment about that person or that maneuver? So just notice the power that judgment has over our life experiences, like the moods in which we live life, as well as our choices and what we decide to do with those triggers and with those moods. I invite you to look at your triggers and notice with each and every one, is it the event or is it the judgment about the event that is triggering you? The judgment that is wrong, that's unfair, that's mean, that's unkind, whatever that is, it's the judgment about. So what happens if we remove the judgment? What happens if it's just, that car cut pretty close, let me be cautious and back up a little bit. Just because I'm consciously reacting to the event without attaching myself to the judgment about the event. That's your challenge this week. And I would love to hear your comments on this one because I know it can be a bit controversial, this idea of getting rid of good and evil. So let me know. Tell me, bring it. Bring it on. I want to hear how this is landing for you, your thoughts, your questions, all of those things. Have an awesome week, and I will see you next week.